Oh boy, I think we know what we're gonna get with this one. Clicking on this replay, we have got Eris taking on Xena. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And I'm wondering if we're going to get the Mass Marine strategy from Xena here. It's either going to be BC Rush or Mass Marines, I think, based off the odds or whatever. So we'll see. There's already a gas on the way, so I'm thinking maybe it's going to be the BCs. We're on the map Equilibrium, the AI edition. We have got the top bot Eris taking on Xena, another one of the highest ranked bots on the ladder, but Xena being an incredibly different bot from many of the others, as it plays all three races and is a bit of a cheese king. It is the cheese king as far as bots go. And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit, I don't know, let's say 3 likes on this video, that would be amazing. Join the Discord, which is linked down below, if you want to become a member of the community. And leave a comment saying more bots if you want to see more of these goofy bot games. Xena has got a single Marine on the way and then going to be a command center behind this. I'm unsure if it's going to be a Mass Marine strategy or a BC Rush strategy, because it doesn't exactly tell us, but it kind of tells us the odds, I think, right? Although it says 2% for Mass Marine, so I really don't know what it's going to do. Anyway, now Xena is mining a bit of gas, so we'll see if it's going to build a factory or go into something else. We do have a second refinery on the way, so I am excited for this to be potentially a Mass BC Rush from Xena, something that the bot does quite well, I believe. And we have got multiple queens on the way for Eris. Eris is a Zerg bot that you don't have to worry too much about cheesing you, and that's one of the things that can leave Eris a little bit vulnerable. It can, it doesn't necessarily scout or be impervious to every cheese. And a build that's like Mass BCs is very anti, sort of just Zerg generic macro. You have to have a specified response as the Zerg to something like this. Looks like a Ling does try and make it into the Terran's base, but it gets shut down. There's a bunker on the low ground for Xena, which is going to be potentially important to defend any run-bys or attacks if the game goes long enough from Eris. Eris does have that third hatchery on the way, though. It's pumping out lots and lots of drones, and that's something that Eris does well. If left to its own devices, this Zerg bot will max out, and I don't know the exact time, but it's very soon, thanks to the speed binding and just the efficiency of its macro. We do have a starport on the way for Xena, so I'm thinking we're going to be getting that Mass BC play, and we'll see how well that's going to work out for the Blue Terran. Starport's about to finish up. Do we have a fusion core? Yes, we do. So it's going to be Mass Battlecruisers coming out of Xena. I believe I have seen a game similar to this in the past, and it kind of came down to just roaches against Mass BCs in a bit of a race. So we'll see how this one's going to go. Xena is banking up some energy, so I assume it's just going to drop mules once it hits 100 energy. That way it always has energy for a scan as the Terran, which is important because you need detection against these Zerg bots, as they always go for burrow, it seems. Not it seems, that's kind of just a fact. Now, Eris is macroing strong. It's almost saturated that third base already, which is crazy because it's only not even 4.5 minutes into the game. A layer's on the way. More and more drones are being produced, but there's the first battlecruiser from the Blue Terran. We've got a third base on the way for Xena as well, so that's going to allow for more battlecruiser production, more of an economy. No Yamato cannon has started yet for Xena, but the first BC being on the way already is big, as Eris is going to have to deal with those somehow. Second starport is on the way, so production will be increasing. More and more SCVs are being produced as well, so it's not like Xena isn't macroing. It's just going to be naturally outpaced by Eris due to the Zerg mechanics, due to how greedy Eris is. So, and that happens to a lot of Terran players and Terran bots in StarCraft 2. Even if you macro quickly, like if you just sort of putter along macroing as a Terran, you will be out macroed by a greedy Zerg. That's just a fact. And so Xena will potentially have to contend with a lot of stuff coming out of Eris. There is a third base turning into an orbital for Xena. Xena has actually been dropping some mules though, which is cool to see, as I was wondering how much energy it was going to build up on that command center. But now it's dropping those. We've got more battle cruisers on the way against this mass roach style of Eris. And this is what we saw last time I commentated a match like this, that it was Eris kind of just flooding with all of these roaches against Xena, trying to hold on with battle cruisers. So we'll see if there's going to be enough damage from Xena to potentially pause any attack from Eris. Yamato Cannon is being researched now, and Armory is on the way as well for the Terran bot, so +1 attack on these BCs would go a long way. We do seem to have a scout from Eris, as it now is committing to Aspire, so there can be Corruptors to potentially deal with the BCs. That being said, though, Xena does have quite a lead when it comes to building these air units. There's 2 more BCs about to pop on out. Yamato Cannon halfway done, so that Overseer may live a bit longer and not get Yamato cannoned. A 4th base is on the way for Xena as well, which is going to be very important just to keep its strong macro going. We've got a 3rd starport about to finish, so it's going to be triple battle cruiser. And this is the thing that I love from Xena. Xena it's a random cheesy Terran bot, but then it also just decides to build a ton of BCs and roll with it. We've got mass spores on the way for Eris as a response to these BCs. Xena's moving out. It's got a couple of Hellbats, some Marines grouping up with these battle cruisers. We'll see how Eris is going to deal with this, whether it does decide to counterattack with the roaches or just try and hold on. In comes the first BC. One of those spore crawlers isn't done just yet, but now it's finished. So these 2 BCs could have their work cut out for them. A Yamato Cannon is going to go off, actually delete another one of the queens as the rest of the queens come spilling in for Eris. There goes a 2nd queen. And so far, Eris still is just staying back at home with its roaches, building up Corruptors. Xena has got more and more of these battle cruisers on the way. +1 attack is on the way as well for the BCs. And I mean, their numbers are growing faster and faster as we've got a 4th starport on the way. That Overseer is staying alive for now. No speed actually on that thing, so it will go down. The 4th base is mining efficiently for Xena as well, bringing in lots of gas, having mules dropped at it. That's a pretty significant income for a Terran that's building BCs. Well, another one of these BCs is going to cross the map with this small ground army. I'm not sure how well these Marines and Hellbats are going to do. They're going to try their best, though, as they go on in. Fortunately, there's no infestors out for Eris to neural parasite these BCs or anything like that. We do see Corruptors now starting to skirmish with the battle cruisers. This one's going to have to teleport on out of there, and it does do just that. Another BC's like, that doesn't look too nice, and is going to try and get out as well. Meanwhile, some of these roaches are now crossing the map, potentially getting aggressive, as Eris is indeed maxed out. So this is where the problems can start to arise for the Terran body. Yamato Cannon's actually going to get dumped. Will there be a teleport out? No, the battle cruiser got itself killed by actually committing to that. We've now got these BCs having to deal with Corruptors and all the roaches on the ground. Yamato Cannons help cut through the Corruptors, but in come all these roaches. And while there's +1 on the BCs, this is 24 roaches, which is no small amount. Scans are having to be used to reveal these roaches to kill them. SCVs are starting to die. 16 dead already. I think this is looking a little bit better than the previous game I cast, though, between Eris and Xena. Roaches at the 4th base and potentially at the natural, no, but just at the 4th base harassing now can be problematic for Xena, though, as mining is getting disrupted. The battle cruisers are staying alive, though, and Xena has successfully held on, so we may actually get to see Xena reach 200 battle cruiser supply this game. Eris is really going to be tested when it comes to its anti-BC in this match. It's building more Corruptors, getting out Neural Parasite, but there's no Infestors made just yet. And so that's actually a little bit concerning when we take stock, because it's 9 BCs against 12 Corruptors and 7 Queens. Like, the BCs can win that fight if they all use Yamato Cannon. One of those BCs gets injured, then gets on out of there. The other one actually teleports out so much later for some reason. So, interesting mechanic there. This other Battlecruiser is going to have to get on out of there. Xena dumps another Yamato Cannon, then going to want to teleport out. So, we have seen 2 Battlecruisers die this game so far. But Xena is still building up. Getting +2 ship weapons on the BCs is important. I'd love to see armor be researched as well at some point. There is a second armory just sitting there. So I'm not sure if Xena's programmed to get that armor upgrade or not. There is plenty of BCs, though, to shut down any roach attack that comes in at this moment. And so far, Xena's economy is doing pretty good. A BC does get targeted down by those Corruptors. They've got very high damage, and there's actually so many of them now for Eris, as it has used its mass economy to build mass Corruptors. 19 still standing, despite Yamato Cannons going down frequently from Xena. I think the +1 attack is quite problematic for the Blue Terran bot, as those Corruptors are dealing so much damage to the BCs. This is why you really need armor on the Battlecruisers. Corruptors, they deal extra damage to Battlecruisers. They have a massive bonus. It's literally a bonus versus massive units. And so we're seeing too many of these BCs die for Xena. Some of them are getting injured, then teleporting on out. The count is only 9 right now. And for those of you that have ever played Terran late game Battlecruisers, you're listening to a guy that likes to build mass Battlecruisers sometimes on the ladder. The trick to dealing with Corruptors is to let your BCs get their spells off cooldown, then all go in, dump Yamato Cannon, and retreat. And all of a sudden you've killed a lot of the Zerg's army and not really lost anything. We're seeing too many BCs die for Xena, though, as Eris is just showing us why it's the top bot. Coming in, mass Corruptors, killing the Battlecruisers, and whether it's with roaches on the ground or Corruptors in the skies, Eris is just good through and through. I know I've said in the past that, like, it doesn't have answers to every cheese, but it defends most cheeses very darn well, and that's exactly what it's done this game. I guess maybe Xena needs to incorporate some turrets into this strategy, maybe change, like I get going in with the BCs one at a time. To program that, it makes logical sense, just kind of have them all independently do their thing. But I think if you really wanted to take the strategy to the next level in the late game against Zerg, like, as soon as Zerg has more than 5 Corruptors, I think you should implement like a pooling mechanism with your BCs so they go in all together. In come the Corruptors once more, though, all grouped up, just targeting down those Battlecruisers. They've got nowhere to retreat to, really, and Eris is just dominating, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this cast, go ahead, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the Discord if you want to send me your replays or just get notified whenever I do tournaments. We got a new Afrika World happening on Friday, or not Afrika World, Starcraft Global, a Korean Starcraft Cup. And if you do want to support this content, consider becoming a YouTube member. That goes a long way. Big thanks to everyone who does support the channel. Couple of Hydras doing their job, slowly cleaning up everything. Eris even utilizing a Dropper Lord, because apparently there's not enough creep on the map to walk across. And now we just wait for the cleanup. All the BCs are dead. Xena is still making a couple of SCVs, funnily enough. But that is going to be that pretty soon here, just as we watch these Hydras slowly do their thing. Yeah, I do love the mass Battlecruiser strategy of Xena. Like, obviously the bot author of Xena doesn't put in as much work into, like, general macro in these strategies because it has so many different strategies. But it is quite incredible. I really do enjoy the mass BC strategy. Hydra's doing their thing still. Pew pew pew. Rapid fire machine gun. Killing all them depots. Oh, Eris goes and kills that one Rax. Then it goes to clean everything else up. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.